We are rolling. We're live, people.
Oh.
You know, this is the shows that always come, awkwardness.
Okay.
Okay. Hello everybody and welcome to Voices of the South. We are finally in 2019 and we are so super excited to be here. There's a lot that has happened since we last shot and we last had an episode, and I'm sure that you must have recognized that this is not Aviwe. It's not like one of those shows where we just moved off the other actor and we got a new replacement in this. So his name is not Aviwe. We're not keeping the character.
You know what we're supposed to do is, we're supposed to say this is Aviwe, and then people are like, but this is not how Aviwe looked.
It's one of those TV shows where they do that and I get so confused. I'm like, you killed off a character. And then you bring a new person in, but we can see it wasn't the same person, but now we must act like it's the same person.
So we was just supposed to go with Aviwe.
Anyway, for those who don't know, and welcome to everybody who's watching for the first time. My name is Simone Momplé, and we have Jacob Cloete, who you should know as well. Give a hi.
Oh, what's up?
And this is...
Thapelo. Guys, my name is TP. I hope you guys are well. Well, they call me TP, but my name is Thapelo, and I'm 25 years old. I'm an industrial engineering student at CPT, but I'm also a social entrepreneur. I sell some boots, many refurbished boots rather, because I'm a social entrepreneur, so I recycle the boots. But that's enough, and yeah, I'm here, Voices of the South.
Why are you here, TP?
Yeah, let's get into it. Why are you here?
So I'm here because, I'm here to dissect hip-hop. The same way as like a scientist will take a rat, put it in the lab, open it up, check some few things. So basically, for me, generally, I think hip-hop is more of like a...
A rat.
No. It's a culture that I think can, has a huge influence.
Yeah.
And it can actually be used as a tool. Because since I'm a social entrepreneur, I'm always about, seeing as how can we improve society. So I think the culture of hip hop, which is so influential, can actually, influence the youth especially to do good instead of, drinking lean and say, oh, I'm high, and all of these things. But yeah, that's why I'm here.
Alright. So what has happened since we last shot, Jacob? Any updates from your side?
Okay, so I've been extremely busy with Simone's projects. So this is what I'm currently doing. Everything that I do is another video project for Simone.
Basically works for me.
Yeah, but it basically works for Simone for free.
Freelancer.
Oh, freelancer. No, it's not a freelancer.
Oh, I just got confused by the word free.
It's pro bono.
Pro bono.
Yes.
What's pro bono?
It's free.
Oh, that's the first time I hear that. Is it like a replacement of...
So basically he's working now to get paid in future.
Oh, I see.
No, pro bono in law is, if you take a pro bono case, it's almost like a charity case. The people doesn't have money. So you do it for free for them.
I see.
Pro bono.
But you all grow together,
So I'm good.
Yes.
That's a better question.
Okay.
Am I good? I'm good. So I'm busy and good. Yes.
It's good. And you've improved your filming since then? Since last year?
Yeah, even though some people I sent my stuff to, my artistic work didn't appreciate it at first. So the two projects that I sent this year, both the people that I sent it to was like, no, we need to edit it. It's not good enough.
Like they need to edit it.
Yeah, because it's not good enough.
But you see, Jacob is like the Kendrick of filmmaking. People don't
Thank
understand
you.
your work at first in the beginning. In the beginning, Kendrick was really small, and he had a small circle, but he took the same, the same ideas and things that he did. Structure, the word I'm looking for. And he still uses it in all his albums and music. So maybe in 15 years' time, I'm kidding. I think in a few years' time, people will actually genuinely appreciate Jacob's mind in his work.
Okay.
Because it's unique. And so on my side, my hair grew. It's quite long. So it's just a little. Some days I go in between looking like what's this guy's name with a comb?
Oh, I was thinking about a poodle.
A poodle.
A poodle is a dog, Musa.
Yeah,
So go with a dog.
Or
I go between looking like the young Michael Jackson Afro style. Sometimes it just goes into Michael Jackson. Sometimes it goes into a Jericho.
Like Jericho.
Jericho's.
Oh.
Like, what was it? What is that guy's name back in the day that had Jericho?
Brown something.
James.
Oh, James Brown.
Yeah.
I feel good. Is it?
feel good.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
So my hair grew. But other than that, what else? Oh, this year's been explosive for me so far. I called it the explosive. No, last year was my explosive year. This one is my expanding year. So it's been already such a hustle. I have done quite a few dance projects already. And I did Wakanda Forever vibes, and for all of those who have been a part of Wakanda Forever, you know what awesomeness that was. And what else have I've been on the radio. Then I did an interview on the radio recently, which will come out soon as well. It's hustling, man. Gotta hustle.
Okay.
But a lot of things have happened on in terms of what we're talking about today. But we want to officially welcome TP to Voices of the South.
And let's give a viewer a shout out, man.
Yes, and shout out to Aviwe. So we did not kick Aviwe off the Voices of the South. He's still part of our team very much. It's just that he is not based where we are based this year. But he will pitch in and he will come in whenever. So big shout out to Aviwe, also making moves for himself. And we miss you, man.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
And just to say, I was checking like the other videos out. I just want to ask, is this the chair that Aviwe was sitting in?
Yes.
It's the very chair.
Because I can see already I've even gained the... Because every time he sits here, he always does this. So I'm also already doing this, so like, yeah. But anyway.
Yeah, but we don't want you to replace him. We want you to be you. Be you. And we're looking forward to having you. So let's get into the show. And we're going to start out with shout outs. So these are just a few names of the shout outs that I want to give. So shout out to PJ, who stopped us in the street just the other day. And he is what I think you would call a hip-hop lyrical analyst.
Yeah.
Something along that line. Anyway, so he basically also dissects lyrics on hip-hop. And he also wants to sometime be a part of us, but we'll see how that goes. So shout out to Jose as well. So let me tell you what Jose decided to do. The other day on my WhatsApp status, I put out a status to say, if anybody buys me data, I'll give him a shout out on Voices. So she was the only one who responded and she bought me data. And so I'm obliged to give a shout out to Jose. And she's also on the Coke advert. So if you see her on one of the, when you're on YouTube and they show the YouTube adverts, so she pops up there. But she's also on 2 billboards in Cape Town. So.
Yes, so where, but that other place when we were the other night, she was just right up that building.
Which place?
When we went for that bounce groove session. She was right against the wall
She's
there.
in town,
I didn't know.
I know people
Shame
on
on you.
billboards.
Shame on you.
And yeah, but she's honestly one of a kind and someone who honestly stays true to her word. So shout out to her. Shout out also to Thapelo.
Yeah.
Yes. So she is on Cape Talk.
You see that celebration, like.
And I brush past that. So she also had trouble with my surname, so it's okay. It's, we share these things. So she interviewed me on Cape Talk the other day. So big shout out to her, to Mpo, who's also following her dreams and doing making moves for us women also out there. Thank you. And then also shout out to Reason.
The rapper Reason. The South African.
Rapper Reason. Just so everybody's like, ooh, what is Reason? Reason for retweeting Voices of the South. Thank you so much. He actually watched our stuff, and he gave us some feedback about it. He loves it. I met up with him in the Old Biscuit Mill. Also in December, he was there. And he's so cool, man. He's such a humble guy. So big shout out to Reason as well. Shout out to DJ Sishle, Black Wiz as well for watching us and giving us feedback. So what we have here is a catch-up. So what we're going to talk about R.Kelly, Chris Brown, Tekashi, Reason, VOC. Okay, where do you want to start?
Right.
R.Kelly, Chris Brown.
Yeah, let's talk about R.Kelly, because R.Kelly, when we later going to discuss the Grammys, is going to be so relevant. So let's leave R.Kelly for last as we go into the Grammy segment, because I have something to say about
Okay.
R.Kelly and how R.Kelly affected the.
Did you
Grammys.
watch the series?
The Grammys, the R.Kelly series.
No, you didn't.
I didn't, because the link that you sent me didn't work.
Okay.
So I don't know where people are getting these things, but I couldn't find it. I'm a Netflix person, guys. Like,
Oh.
I'm there, Netflix is available, I just click.
Okay, so let's go in then. Chris Brown. Chris Brown.
Search was that.
Okay,
Yes.
catch us up in the fans on
On
Chris
Chris
Brown.
Brown. So, what am I doing?
Okay, so Chris Brown got arrested for
Yeah.
allegedly raping someone.
Oh, you mean that
Overseas,
story?
yes.
That particular story.
Mhm.
So after he was arrested, it came out that he wasn't.
It was a false accusation,
It was a
yes.
false accusation. So, but it leads into to the whole R. Kelly story. Is about the Me Too movement. But more importantly, the Mute R. Kelly movement. So after that happened, there was a hashtag going around Mute R. Kelly, and I was not R. Kelly, Chris Brown. So I immediately jumped on the Mute Chris Brown, and I even put it up. It's like, this guy, we have to mute his music. And then I realized when they say he was accused, is how a false accusation like that can actually
Damage
have
your reputation.
damage a reputation of a.
Yeah, because it wasn't proven at that time. It was just a allegation. So it's almost as if whoever the female was, you know who she was.
Let's not go into the identity.
So
of
so the female then obviously spoke out and said that this is what Chris Brown did to her, and that's the story. You see, that's where the story started, and then everybody jumped on, oh, Chris Brown he's doing this again, and they obviously brought up the whole Rihanna situation, and they basically just took sides of the female without knowing the story.
But to be honest, his music doesn't help.
Doesn't?
Help, especially loyal. These also in loyal, you see. So his music is kind of.
See, we can do that with all artists. We can do that with female artists as well.
I mean,
okay, which one?
Yo, Nadia Nakai, Nicki Minaj, Missy Elliott. You want me to carry on?
Because I was actually about
Cardi
to say.
B.
I was also about to say, like, even Tupac, like, there's even this one video where it was an interview where he was like, so I have this much respect for women, and then there's another video that's like, bitches ain't shit, so it's like, you see. So I think.
Yeah, well, bitches is a different. He's talking about. Bitches is a different terminology in American hip hop.
Oh, but like he's referring to females. That's like what I'm saying.
No,
Not all
no,
females.
not
Bitches
Park.
is not all
You
females.
see, if we get into Park, then you will know that Park said is that there's malos and there's male bitches.
So bitches is not necessarily females.
Look, like in the context of that interview though, like he was talking about girls at the time. Maybe he got, I don't know, heartbroken or what. Because you know, there are days where guys are just like, screw females, you know. So
Ooh, the pun.
no, I'm just saying.
It's a little bit like Aviwe there, ne?
Yeah, we must be careful because we cannot have a hashtag boycott.
Okay, no, I see.
But we'll get more people watching at least.
But
we
also,
don't want it that way.
And speaking of Chris Brown, I saw, the only thing that I saw related to that was, you know, Eve the rapper, the female rapper. Okay, the rapper, because I'm not female rapper.
Oh, but apparently
Eve
she
the
had a
rapper.
ghostwriter, sorry.
Oh, yo, I didn't know. But she was.
Should I just quiet everyone now?
You can't mess up more of my 90s, 2000s, man. R.Kelly took everything from me.
Yeah, Eve had a ghostwriter, Will Smith had a
R.Kelly took
ghostwriter.
Aaliyah from me. I can't do that.
Oh shit.
Yo.
Please, man. Let's not do that.
So like she sent like a video on Instagram supporting Chris Brown, and like she was like, no, it can't always be the male who's like the accused and what, because she I think she said something like she knows some girls do this, especially you know like a girl can maybe like say, maybe you heard a girl with words, say maybe you guys are like 17. I'm not saying this girl went back for Chris Brown, but like, and then you could find out, okay, maybe she still remains hurt, and then she waits for you to get there, and then once you get there in the spot that she's like,
Okay, what they did to Chris Brown, or what happened to Chris Brown, is an unfortunate situation. However, the importance of the hashtag movements, we cannot take it away. So if you look at our R.Kelly situation, is that there was women that repeatedly, over and over, said that I'm being abused by R.Kelly. But because R.Kelly was such a big musician, what happens is that these voices drowned out. So if you then watch that whole series Surviving R.Kelly, then you realize is that I was complicit in the silence of these voices, because after every allegation he put out a hit record that is so big in circulation. He performed in churches. I wish, or what is it?
I believe I can fly.
I believe I can fly, and all of these things. So then the pastors and all of these people support him, and the victims, the voices of the victims, drown out in this particular in a situation like this. So there's importance in the hashtag movement that we cannot take for granted. So I don't think the hashtag movements went after Chris Brown. I think when there's strong evidence, then you will see most of the activists in the hashtag
like you
movement.
said, like you were also one of them who jumped on the he must be guilty. You know, we so quick to do it, and of course it was so soon after R.Kelly's blow up of his documentary as well. So everyone's going to assume, okay, this is the next guy who's also in power, or he has some sort of power, he has an image, and he can use that to his advantage. So, but there's two things that we'll be looking at here, man. And people are so quick to just take their side and jump on it on the same story, but they're making two different points. And I think this is where we are now also making two different points. It's like the one is this Me Too movement, and there's actual real relevance and stories about women who are victims of whatever type of abuse, sexual abuse, or that type of victimization. But then there's also the females that use it to their advantage, unfortunately.
If you look at this year's Grammys in particular, it's almost like affirmative action of awards. This is how I can say the Grammys was this year. So for instance, Cardi B got the best
rap album.
And for me, and so the people that was nominated was Nipsey Hussle, it was Mac Miller, it was it's Cardi B, who else?
Childish.
No, Charles Gambino didn't bring out the album. And Travis Scott. Those were the 5 that was nominated.
Wasn't Drake's album also on there? No, I'm confusing. He was
No, it's Scott. No, it was a song.
God's plan.
So if you then look at the Grammys this year, there's no way that Cardi B, if you say best album, then it doesn't mean best selling album. It doesn't mean whatever you term it. So if you look at in terms of musicality and impact, then who of these people have the biggest?
It was also Pusha T. Did you mention Pusha T?
Pusha T, yes,
was
Pusha
also
T.
really-
As in like influence.
Yeah.
No wait, like are you saying like her album was more not necessarily based on the numbers, but more on influence?
No, I'm saying is that this is the one thing. Did Cardi B have, in terms of the people who set out the album, those people if you listen to the album, was her album better than those albums?
I wouldn't say it was better, but it was different. So because of, or maybe because of like, it, for me personally, it takes time for like female rappers to pop up and really make it big. I mean, the first time I discovered Nicki Minaj I was in grade 2011, and with the song Massive Attack. I don't know if you remember that song. It's a music video driving a Lamborghini in the desert with Amber Rose. So that was then. So from that point onwards, like there was no one else. Miss Elliott obviously has been missing for some time. Missy went missing.
Missy never left, man.
Yeah, but like she was like under carpet.
She's
underground.
resting.
She was resting, and you see. And then now that she came, And yeah, it's like a different, it's like another Nicki Minaj again, but I don't want to use Nicki Minaj because they're two different people. But like, so because of that, I think, just because of that, wow factor, that, we've been waiting for a female rapper for so long to really make it big. She deserves to win.
But then she can get a welcome to the industry award. But I mean, if you look at, like you said, Mac Miller swimming, Nipsey Hussle, Victoria, like Pusha T, Daytona, and Travis Scott, Astroworld. And Invasion of Privacy. Now maybe you say, okay, she's a newcomer and she did the best she could for herself. Does it mean, what do we mean when we say best rap album? What is best show? Is best showing sales? Is best showing best for you as an artist? Or is best showing that it was good lyrical? Is it hip hop? Or I mean, does it actually show the genre? Does it actually bring out the culture? What does best mean?
And you see, that's the question that was left hanging for me. So this album obviously would get an award, becomes a historical thing now in the Grammys. Is the first woman to ever win Best Album of the Year, hip hop album. She's the first. And now the thing is that it's a historical effect, and it's almost making up for the shit that R.Kelly did. So this is the way the industry then rewards women. For me, I see it kind of as patronizing.
Yes.
Because there is no way that Cardi B is better than Rhapsody. There is no way that she's better than Nicki. There's no way that she's better than Missy Elliott. So then it becomes patronizing.
Yeah.
Because I don't see female rappers. I see rappers.
Yeah.
In my top 3, you have J. Cole, Kendrick, and Rhapsody. There is no one that stands out in the industry for me more than those 3.
And do you know that people went at her on Twitter after she won, and everyone was really going at her for saying that she didn't deserve it.
Oh, she said that?
Yeah, and she deleted her account.
Oh yeah, I
on
know.
Twitter.
I heard that news that she deleted her account.
But I mean, if you want to be up there, you're gonna have to stand the heat. And what else were you saying about? I know we're going into a bit of the Grammys, but that these are basically she's part of what Atlanta. So
here's the other thing that I saw is that all major rap labels were
represented.
Yeah, got awards. For instance, when you look at the best performances, J-Rock got a J-Rock, Kendrick, but
King's Day, yeah.
For King's Day.
Yeah.
But it was up against Sycamore. So was Sycamore a better rap performance than King's Day?
Don't look at me. If Aviwe was here, you talk about J-Rock's win. No, when J-Rock
You would so be in J-Rock.
The win song? Or you mean like the Grammy win?
The win.
No, but you see, he got it. TDE got that award. And then the next one, best rap song, Drake got the award. OVO.
So it's all the big album record labels
that got this particular, it's like, we award all of you just to get you interested enough to come to the next Grammys.
Well, speaking actually of that, because it basically sounds like more of like a customer, maybe not customer, but like it's like a tactic to just bring them back. Do you still think that the Grammys have the same? Is it still like
of value?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there were people boycotting it, like
Childish Gambino.
Kendrick. Even though he was nominated, he actually won for
this
record of the year. He got record of.
This is America.
So it's hip hop song that is the first hip hop song that got record of the year.
Yeah.
So across genres.
In history.
Yeah.
Oh.
So you have here something that is a record of the year, but it was massive.
Yeah.
This is summer. No, this is summer. This is America.
Sure this is summer because his other song is summer. Feels like summer.
It was massive. It was massive. And what's the other? Yeah.
Sorry.
See, now I lost my train of thought.
But also Drake.
The value of the Grammy.
Yeah, the whole thing about Drake. Drake came and he knew that he's gonna get an award. and then he started dissing the Grammys and he cut his mic.
Yo. Like, what did he say? Like,
That the award doesn't make you the best, or
Yeah.
doesn't supposed to give you value. So there's a big boycott amongst musicians when it comes to the Grammys, because the Grammys does it so that it can get people back. Now here's the thing that nobody's talking about. The attendance Grammy was low, it was empty.
I saw.
They give away tickets for these things. They pay people to come.
And it's still
To
empty.
get an audience.
Because I was checking out J-Rock's win.
Yeah.
And then so like, just after they called his name, they showed like a top view. It looked like a community hall. You know those community halls where there's like, people are there, but not everyone is there. And then and it was even a bit quiet. You know, there's always that vibe in an award ceremony, but it was still, I understand it's the Grammys, so it's like, you know,
Wow.
but it was too,
But
it was dead.
wasn't it for the Grammys that they didn't have a host?
No, it's for the Oscars.
Oh, I keep getting these things confused.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the one that Thingy pulled out of.
Yeah,
No.
he pulled out.
Well, when in doubt, pull out.
Oh,
That's
when
what
in
I
doubt.
always say.
Yay.
Okay,
So of that albums,
Mm.
I want you guys. I want to throw you in the fire. And you know, the Cardi B fans will come after you. Diego is one of those Cardi B fans. So which one would you say was the best rap album of the year?
Let me just check again. I'm gonna go with
So it's Cardi B, it's Sicko Mode, and
No, Sigma,
No.
Travis Scott.
Travis Scott, Astro World, Pusha
Oh.
T, Daytona, Nipsey Hussle, Victory Lap, and Mac Miller Swimming. I'm gonna go with Nipsey Hussle
Why?
because I like it.
Okay, because you like it.
No, it's that
to be honest, I would say
biased.
Cardi B. I'm not a Cardi B fan. Nix, man.
Did you hear the other people on this list? Mac
Nipsey
Miller,
Hussle,
Nipsey
Miller.
Hussle, Pusha T, Travis Scott.
Pusha T is dope also. But you know why I'm actually taking Cardi B? Like I've never really listened to her music, né, but I've more just been observing people's reactions and her influence. I think that's the thing. Like I've been passively involved in her music because mostly, let's say I go on a taxi, there could be that maybe her music is being played, or even people stating her lyrics, especially women. Like a lot of girls lately, like have that little nasty attitude that Cardi B has. So for me, I measure.
It's bad.
That's
That's
bad.
bad. That's bad.
Oh, like that. Okay, let me put it this way. Cause it's out there, guys. It's like, it's.
So it doesn't. I mean, just because it's out doesn't mean it's relevant.
I know, but like I mean in the sense that she has a maybe not nasty. Don't give a f kind of attitude nyana there. Some of her songs.
Okay.
You know.
If in terms of rap, ne, how did she deliver her punchlines, her flow? Is there even a flow?
Did she even write the album?
No, she didn't write it. She's open about it.
Well, it's the flows here and there.
I can tell you now that if somebody if somebody's gonna be doing, like, I can also decide, like, tomorrow, you know what, I'm gonna also start doing something with my hair, my face, and start speaking a certain way and having a certain vibe about myself and make myself big just based on that persona. It's a persona. She's not real.
But no, okay.
Those
But no,
rappers
but who's rap?
No,
Is
but
real.
if you watch some artists in an interview, you'll get to see the artist, man. You get to see the artist is genuine. They're actually talking about real things, and they
Like
merging
50 Cent.
like Kendrick.
That one, yeah.
No, Kendrick is so awkward in interviews.
Okay, yeah, but he's not used to the interview. Like that's
like
a personal
Kendrick
thing.
is awkward.
But when he talks about his work, you can see that the artist is coming through as a genuine thing, and you can also sort of see, okay, I can see when Kendrick performs, he's a different person, and he's a performer, but it's a persona. Beyonce
No,
is
but
the same.
even Cardi B is a good performer.
Yes, but she
She might be a better performer than Nicki.
But she performs in the interviews. That's what I'm saying. She's
Yeah.
not coming forth straight up in an interview. You don't see the artist.
Okay.
Artist is the key word here. Artist.
Okay, but now you see now we go into philosophical questions. What does
What
it
is
mean?
art?
Yes, what is art? What is artist?
Is Cardi B an artist, or is she a performer?
Okay, she's an artist. I mean, at the end of the day, she's creative. She applies her creativity into music.
The
I
album.
know they write for her. No, but basically she's an
And
artist.
there is a producer making the music. So what is the what? So
Can I
Simone is something. She got something here.
Mm.
Like it's a performer. Cardi B is more performer. If you don't deliver any of those things, where's the artistry?
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I can take on a persona and I can perform. I can do the same things she's doing, as a performer.
Mm.
You know, I can also learn how to rap and all those things, and it doesn't seem genuine, it doesn't seem true. I don't know.
But you see, but
also
then we must be as critical with Dr. Dre, because Dr. Dre doesn't write his raps.
Mm.
However, he makes the music behind the raps.
But my thing
So
is,
there's still a level of artistry.
Artistry. Okay, then wouldn't you say then that Cardi B's level of artistry then is in her performance?
Okay.
See, which is at least a single element. Maybe fine, she doesn't write the songs, she doesn't have a good flow, and but at least somewhere there's like a little element of artistry.
so are you saying then that because of that little element there, Smolly Nanny,
Mm-hmm.
she must win album of the year?
Yeah, definitely.
Because Smolly Nanny
Definitely.
album, rap album of the year. But Nicki Minaj wasn't on this list because her album came out later in the year.
No, it's because it's not good enough.
Mm.
No, man, I think it's because it came out later. There was a cut-off time
Okay.
for it. Maybe she'll be next year's one.
But Nicki Minaj, do you think she's gonna still bring anything new? I know like it's a lot of pressure
Have
for
you
like.
listened to her album?
I mean, I don't think I need to be honest, you know why? Because like her music it was cool at first, and then I started listening to it because I really got drawn towards her music during the early days when she popped out out like into the scene, and then as time goes on, it's just the same thing, like she always has those like those kind of like what do you call it, ad libs. Every time I da. So I was like, not a Nicki Minaj.
Here's the thing that
I
a lot
think
of people
it's
get
confusing.
a lot of people get confused.
Oh, but I know you're a Nicki fan also, so
when with Nicki's album, people think that Nicki's album didn't have an impact. It has a massive impact. It just after Travis Scott, it was Nicki. It went top of the charts. There's a lot of big bangers last year in terms of her album. So, and this is the thing, is that Cardi has this big persona that everybody likes. But people forget that Nicki's album had a huge impact when Queen was released and the music previous to it. People are really quick to forget. So why don't they compare them if they really want to care?
I think one of the elements for me when we review albums is looking at, I'm not sure how to put this exactly, but how are these current artists pulling in previous artists and giving respect and shout outs to the game, the hip hop game that has been there. And for me, that's one element that if somewhere on your album, there's got to be something where you remember where you come from, that you are here because of the people before you have broken boundaries through hip hop. And for me, that's what I look for when it comes to the albums and the hip hop albums. So, or whatever genre it is, are you giving shout outs? Are you pulling people with you? Are you lifting people up? And the features on Nicki's album shows that. And she has one of the songs on there by Backtrack with B.I.G., one of B.I.G.'s old songs. So she gives a shout out. She even has, what's her name? Lil Kim on the track, one of the tracks. So she brought one of them out of the, out of the woodworks. And for me, that was also like, okay, now I understand. Like, this is the culture. It's reliving. It's being reborn. It's coming out again, and it's reminding us of back in the day. So what that does is make me go listen to Lil Kim's music again. What did Cardi B do in that sense? For me, I didn't see anything where she was actually pulling people with her. She's going on a complete solo thing. She's on her own mission. She's her own person. She is a new type of
But
being.
the same as J. Cole. J. Cole doesn't feature anyone. Doesn't shout at anyone.
And
J. Cole is, but he has
But it's a different purpose for his work. What is Nicki Minaj's purpose? Is self-fulfillment.
Okay. Voices of the Cape. Youngster.
YoungstaCPT. Have you listened to the song? Voices of the Cape. So, please explain VOC.
Right. So VOC is an abbreviation for the Dutch East Indian Company. So youngsters using history of South Africa or the early arrivals of the Dutch to actually kind of change the narrative. But I doubted that it is successful. That is my thing, because if you say Voices of the Cape, and then in that Voices you only feature colored people, then and that's the problem with the Voices of the Cape when I watch it. His Cape Town is a colored Cape Town. Where's the all the rest of the people who make up Cape Town? Because it returns us to history. This is not the Cape of colored people. This is the Cape of Khoi. The Khoi and the Bushmen, that history is completely, so where are they in this particular history? Yesterday I had a conversation with a group, or with one of the leaders of the Khoi here in Cape, that is actively having conversations with UCT and saying is that, but your place is built on the graves of our ancestors.
Well, you could have called me, but that's a different. Yeah, like I would have really wanted to like listen to that conversation.
No, I have his contact details, and we're working on something meeting up. But this is the history this is the kind of history that I am really.
But isn't it a little bit tricky, because you often hear that, you know, people generally say that colored people is always in the middle of the whole apartheid thing. I mean, it's a very general statement. Colored people always in the middle. Like, we were neither here nor there. We were oppressed, but some of us also weren't. So there was like, people are fighting around us, and then people in the middle. So is he not talking about a voice for the colored? I mean, I know he says Cape in there, and no, it's not just colored people in Cape Town, but Cape Town is known for its colored people. See, and people will say the Cape Colored, or the Cape Cape Colored, referring to us, and they'll give us things like we're supposed to have a certain accent, we're supposed to be having no teeth, and there's this idea of a colored Cape Town. And is he not also just saying like, screw it, man, that's not all what we're all about?
No, the problem is that the depiction of Cape Town in his music videos is that of a colored identity, and that is historically incorrect. So that's the kind of reproduction of apartheid history.
Yeah. So you said, because I remember we also reviewed his song.
Young
Van Riebeeck. We also spoke about that, and it's a similar conversation, I guess. But yeah, that was also saying he must be very careful around this conversation. And I think, coming from a political analyst over here, it's very tricky for you to do that type of thing. And you know, maybe you should maybe be his advisor.
No, I don't think youngsters need an advisor. I see youngsters' project. I've listened to his music. But youngsters is pointing attention to is that there is a forgotten group of people in Cape Town, and there's colored people, and I represent them. These are the people, when people speak about Cape Town, it has become a kind of black versus white. It has become, we don't speak about these people. And he doesn't speak about all colored people in Cape Town. He's speaking about the ones in the Cape Flats. The ones that was forcefully removed from certain parts of Cape Town and then put there, and then become the forgotten people of. I know his project. I love his project. But I don't think the abbreviations like VOC and Jan van Riebeeck is the ones that is helping,
it's not
helping his project. So that's where he has to be careful, because then it becomes a reproduction of a colonial history, apartheid history, and it still marginalizes those people.
Because he is trying to rewrite history. I mean, I think that's one of the things that he mentioned in one of his songs or somewhere else in an interview or something. But he says he wants to rewrite history, and how would it have been had we not have been colonized in the way we were, or put into different segregated areas? Had we, what would have happened? And I think that's where he is at. But how would he have written it differently? Because yesterday we were driving in Paarl, and we still saw a street called Jan van Riebeeck Drive.
There's a high school in Cape Town. It's called.
Why are we still there?
Jan van Riebeeck High School.
Yeah.
I mean, there's many of these schools also that
And
has
streets.
other names of these people who put us down, but here we're lifting their names up.
Yeah, Vasco da Gama, Bartolomeu Diaz. You still get all of those colonial history around
So
Cape Town.
I think
But where's the Cloete Street in Cape Town?
Yeah. Yeah, it's only recently, and I mean now people are going on the big name changes in the airport and
Yeah.
that type of thing. But it's not there, man. We shouldn't go there. We don't need to tell the world. We need to tell our own people how to rewrite history.
So that's the issue that I have with the youngster one.
What do you think?
So basically, in essence, you're saying youngster, like there's some sort of he's not like exactly informed in the right way. So what he's trying to represent is slightly a misrepresentation.
No, I'm not saying it's a misrepresentation.
Mm.
I'm saying is that I understand the project. But the portrayal sometimes in terms of music videos and abbreviations doesn't bring it forth.
It doesn't help us moving forward.
So you use VOC and use Voices of the Cape, and then the only thing that you show Voices in the Cape is colored people.
Mm.
Then you're making the claim that the true Voices of the Cape is colored people. But then you still didn't get rid of the VOCC, which is a East Indian company that oppressed and killed the Khoi in Cape. You get it? You still, that still becomes the trademark of that East Indian company.
But okay, or maybe okay, I see what you mean. But then wouldn't you say that's maybe an artistic play in trying to rewrite history by, let me say, colonize that VOC, which was known for, oppressing and killing the Khoi, but instead now, he's trying to use that.
Let me put it differently. It's almost like trying to rewrite the history of the Nazi using the Nazi symbol.
That's actually what I'm trying to say. But then wouldn't you say then that?
No, if you use the swastika of the Nazi and you try to rewrite that history, you reproduce the same history of racial supremacy.
It's like when we changed over from the old flag to the new flag in South Africa. So imagine we took that same flag and we says, no, we're gonna claim our own history and we're going to abolish apartheid, but we through the symbol of the same flag, we're going to abolish apartheid.
Oh, I see.
So we took that symbol down, and wherever someone sees that symbol, it becomes an attack on us, or I don't know attack, but you know what I mean, a memory, and like we don't want to remember that history anymore. We want to move on from it. How do we move forward? So youngster represented and moving for his name, YoungstaCPT. It just brings you this idea of a future, of how different we can do things in future. And also if you look at Reason's album, he does that. His album, he's talking about, yes, we have to have a voice. We need to be a voice of the people that are being, what is it, on Azania, and the track of Azania, where he features Yuma Sikela. And Yuma Sikela says we need to include the voices of our people in our communities. We can't just ask them to romance and dance to our music. We need to include their suffering in our music. And from that, we're going to build a better future and a better South Africa. And so when I danced on Robben Island over December, I used Azania to dance on because I felt that there was power in what he was saying. Yes, we're talking about what's happening here and now. We're talking about the car guards that are still parking cars and they don't have drive for their own lives. He's using his lyrics to explain what's happening here and now and how we're going to build from here and now and move forward. It's pointless in us sitting and going, oh yeah, Jan van Riebeeck really screwed us over. We are how many years from that? we're going to be pulling ourselves back and constantly remembering that history. And I think, or constantly staying there. You know, we need to take where we are now and use it as a launch pad for forward.
I see.
And he was the only black person in that circle with that t-shirt.
Because what I'm trying to say in essence is that, because I mean strategy is there, intelligence is there. I might not know what's his intention with the printing of that t-shirt, right? But of course that's what I'm saying. Maybe if you look at it at face value, at what that flag has caused, and like all the things you've just mentioned now, it makes sense. I understand that obviously it's totally, one could even say quite stupid for him to do that. But again, he could be having another intention on that, right? Actually, he might even find that he actually completely despises, you know, what the flag represents, and even maybe the white people or whatever. And then he just, you know, went out and put the opposite of that. Because anything has like an intention. Maybe it could be a strategic move. Because I mean,
you know, TP, I like the way you always look at it differently, and I really appreciate it. So I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying is that you really need to look at the guy's intention and what he's trying to do with flipping this particular symbol. Now, black people in America have done it. They use the word nigger to make it a reserved only for them, and nobody can use it. Women in America, especially Missy Elliott, if you listen to her music, all of her albums, from her earliest project, she reclaimed the word bitch. So you're not going to use this word to oppress me. There's even, I think on a, what's so addictive, that particular album, she even have Beyonce on it and saying that bitch is a strong woman and all this. So you use this particular and you reserve it and you flip it. I don't think they were successful with bitch because there's still men using the word bitch to oppress women. But the word nigger was used successfully by a collective, which is black people. Is you're never going to use this word against me and flip it. Now the question is, then the bigger question is, if you use the old South African flag and you say that I support the whites who support this idea, does this guy then flip it? Or does his thing still have an effect on the large majority of people who was oppressed under that particular flag?
I think in this situation, he clearly understands it because you understand the idea behind it, because you understand that that flag represented what it did. That white people use that as a symbol, also then as an oppression and as a colonial image. Because of what did it have in that flag? It had different flags in it, saying we are the all-knowing people and we are going to impart our ideology on you. And that's what that flag represented. So if that was the t-shirt, then he clearly understands what that was about, that he's supporting the. So it's almost like when H&M came out with the monkey and the little kid wearing the thing. So imagine you saw it and you saw the little black child wearing the thing that said monkey, and then I go and I say I support H&M who supports this idea. It's not me, even though I'm against it. I'm not flipping it. I'm not changing the narrative. I'm not saying what they did was wrong. I'm not saying that actually it's okay because I called my little nephew a monkey. I'm not saying that would be like me putting it on my nephew and saying, but yeah, I write monkey on their t-shirt and I put it on there. But that's me saying that I can call my little nephew a monkey. But that's not flipping it. That's not flipping it. That's not using it and punching back.
So is youngster flipping it?
I think if his intention was to flip it, maybe he didn't, flip it with the right punch.
Okay.
Because like another idea came to me as like the guy with the t-shirt, maybe if it's maybe a strategic move, it could be that strategic move of keep your friends close and your enemies closer. So now
he's infiltrating from the inside.
Exactly, you see, and then
it's like undercover.
It's like the best way to let's say maybe if it was back in the apartheid times or back in the American slavery times, whichever. Obviously, the best way to, I guess, spy or understand your oppressor somehow is to also actually let them allow them to see you as how they want to see you, but yet you know that okay, that's not the whole that's not my whole intention here. I'll give him that so that he can continue doing whatever, but I have a plan.
But that makes sense in that time. It doesn't make sense now.
But the struggle continues, so I think it does.
But that struggle is not under that flag anymore. The struggle is now under the new South African flag. There's a new struggle. And I'm not saying the struggle has evolved. So the struggle is no longer under that flag. That would have made sense to wear that t-shirt in apartheid. And then have a story behind it. He's infiltrating, he's being a spy, undercover, all of that. But under the new South African flag, we've got different issues. We don't have those issues anymore.
But like the new flag, the people that still miss the old times with the old flag, they don't even love the new flag at all. For them, it's just the rainbows and sunshine kind of thing.
Who's these people?
Mostly they're the oppressors.
Yeah, well,
okay,
they must come on the show and talk to us.
Okay. Talking about flipping, né? So the Mona Lisa's flip.
I just flipped the switch.
Flip. So what do you think the idea of me was behind flipping Mona Lisa?
Okay, I can explain it through, because I have a picture that's flipped upside down in my room also. It's actually a picture with Einstein and his quote. So the quote says, "You can't solve a problem with the same level of consciousness that created it." So the reason I put it upside down
So cool.
is like you're interpreting, like because basically reading is like solving a problem. You're trying to interpret symbols, right? So if it's upside down, it's a different level of consciousness that we created the letters upright and then, okay, so you get the point.
Yeah.
Now with this, okay, for me, the Mona Lisa art picture has always been mysterious for me. I still don't get it. I see people talk about it, I still don't get it, which makes me even look into it more. So by you flipping it here, I still don't get it.
So it has so much meaning. You see, you have Tupac here, which is hip hop. Then you have Mona Lisa there. That is the Mona Lisa is the symbol of what European fine art is. The epitome of European fine art. Now this is what Kendrick Lassie got. He was recognized by that institution to be fine art. He won a Pulitzer.
Oh, okay.
So now here's the thing. So if you look at this particular thing, is that it's actually a juxtaposition of two different cultures in levels of art. But in it, what I did, I was turning a woman and a man, if you look at a symbolic level. So when I was sitting here and we were start forming about R.Kelly, it hit me. You have Tupac who was once accused of rape, and you have Mona Lisa who is a woman that is upside down. So during that time when she was painted, patriarchy was at its finest in height, and you have Tupac as a male who was accused of raping someone. That was then later imprisoned not for rape but for sexual assault. You have them. So in that trying to flip art, other people watching this might interpret it at a psychological level is that I reproduce a same patriarchal system as under which women are oppressed in the same way R.Kelly and across society is. So I did exactly what Youngster did or couldn't do. Because sometimes as an artistic person, you try to flip it and do it. So I did the same as Youngster and I wasn't successful. And that's the fine line when it comes to art.
But I think I get you on the type of art you're talking about. And this is obviously a discussion that I also have about dance and you get to the point of what is an artistic project and what is just dancing. And it is a very tricky thing, but to understand that this was different. Mona Lisa didn't want to be painted. You know, that's one of the things, hey?
Patriarchy.
Oh,
She didn't want to be.
You.
But apparently she was someone who never smiled, and this is what they call the Mona Lisa smile. She was just like, I'm just gonna give you this. So, so you don't know what was happening in her life. You don't know what her life was about. But you know Tupac. Look at he is revealed. He is open about his true struggles. He has this stuff painted on him about all the stuff that he went through. All of these things have symbols on him. Even you can analyze all of these things in this picture of his art. Why is Tupac on the side? Who put that there? Why is it raining behind him? Why does he have that look in his eyes of I don't know if the camera can see the eyes, but that look of desperation, but it's also it's like I'm giving you everything. Kind of look, and he's literally is. I mean, he probably had to wear pants because we don't want to see that. But he's giving everything, and what's the main thing that shines out here is the cross. You see, you can analyze everything in this picture and say, okay, his faith was really strong. He really loved thug life was everything that he was about. Is what he grew up with. He respected his mother, his family, and his community. But if you look at Mona Lisa's painting, what does it tell you? Her arms are crossed, which if you read body language, it's like, I'm not telling you everything that there is to tell. Now it could be a relevance also to the art, to the European art. They didn't really go into it too much. They were like, I'm just gonna throw this paint on and think, that's art, you know. So they look at it differently. They have a different mindset at what the art is. And here we're looking at Tupac in his element and his openness, and he's giving himself over. Remember, there was also on his Resurrection album, I think he had himself like.
No, Resurrection album. But I think the one that you talk about is 7-Day Theory, Machiavelli.
Yeah. So.
Where he was nailed to a cross.
I mean the album cover.
That has also caused controversy, but we won't get into that. But that's what my interpretation of this would be.
Okay.
Just looking at it.
But I just wanted to show is that sometimes we unintentionally reproduce the symbol.
But it's also understandable in your sense because you are a male.
I know.
In this situation.
Yeah.
So it's not to say that you stand for or do not stand for something, you support or not support. It's just that your point of reference is what you depicted over here.
Yeah.
And it's not a bad thing. But we can catch up with these things next week or next time, which is the Show by Jose album, Nadia Nakai, Casper Nyovest, UWC Surprise, and our wish list, our album wish list of the year.
Yes.
Oh yeah, what's the wish list, by the way? Like, are you guys referring to
what we want to see?
Or what we would
like
want to?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. For local and international?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're gonna catch up with those things next time. So thank you to everybody for tuning in, and we send you guys much love. And please like, share, and subscribe. We also have a new social media network and account. So we are on Twitter, Voices of the South. We are on Instagram, Voices of the South. And we are on Facebook, Voices of the South. And of course, we want to say a big shout out and a big thank you to everybody who's already followed and liked us and supported us on the social media platforms. So from me, Simone.
And me, TP.
Jacob.
We
Peace
out.
out.